This is KGW News at 11.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Brittany Falkers. We begin with a warning from Multnomah County health officials. They want parents of young children to consider rescheduling Thanksgiving gatherings. It comes as hospitals run out of room for pediatric patients as RSV cases continue to rise. Alma McCarty is following the new developments for us. Alma.
Well, Brittany, in a news conference today, Dr. Jennifer Vines explained she knows this is a last-minute request to rethink your Thanksgiving plans, but health leaders say it's critical to share these warnings and ways to prevent illness at a time that feels very similar to past moments when serious situations with COVID overwhelmed hospitals.
The spike in RSV cases paired with the impending rise in flu and COVID infections, leading state and local health leaders to urge caution.
I have to believe that we all care about children. I have to believe that we care about the well-being of all of our healthcare workers. And I want people to know to keep your kids close this holiday.
And by close, Dr. Jennifer Vines and Dr. Ann Loeffler with the Multnomah County Health Department mean reconsider plans to gather and keep very young, vulnerable kids at home.
Consider the possibility of calling that host and saying, you know what, I think we have to delay this. You know, we may need to schedule our Thanksgiving for February. And if you're a host and you're getting that phone call, I would just suggest that you be very gracious.
Children's hospitals in Portland and beyond going into crisis mode, pushed to the limit and filling up to capacity with RSV cases. That includes Dornbecker, Randall Children's, and now Providence St. Vincent.
So in order to create more room, they're doing things like delaying procedures that can wait. And they're also getting creative with staffing, which is understood to mean that staff are asked to care for more than the usual number of patients that they might be asked to care for.
Young children less than 6 months of age are at the highest risk. But right now, about a third of the hospitalizations are in the 6 month to 3 year age. And again, corresponding to the possibility that these slightly older infants and toddlers haven't had RSV the last couple of years.
If you have to be around others, consider wearing a mask and refraining close contact with vulnerable kids.
Now we know that COVID and flu are both transmitted in air, you know, for kind of a 6 feet distance. But we've always known for 50 years that RSV is transmitted more on surfaces.
These local health experts say most kids will not be sick enough to visit the ER, and they're hoping this advice will help families keep them as healthy as possible.
Keeping the kiddos' nose clean, using some salt water and some sort of nasal aspirator, using some Tylenol if by bringing a fever down, it makes the kiddos feel well enough that they can drink enough to stay hydrated.
RSV is nothing new. It's common and it usually pops up around this time every year. However, the past 2 years have been unusual. Kids under 3 that would normally get a minor case didn't until now. That's why doctors believe they're seeing this surge. We've got an article up now with more about the symptoms and what to do on KGW.com. Brittany?
Such an important story. Thanks so much, Alma. Well, let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines. Police in Clackamas County need your help finding this woman. They say she snuck into 4 different schools and stole from staff members. She allegedly got in during school hours by claiming to want to enroll a child. Investigators say she then asked to use the restroom and snuck into unoccupied rooms to swipe wallets and purses. The suspect is 44-year-old Sarah Sallow. She drives a gray Nissan sedan, so keep an eye out and call the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office if you see her. A man shot by Portland police this past weekend has died. Officers say it started with a robbery call Saturday morning in the Reed neighborhood in southeast Portland. When police caught up with the suspect vehicle, they say they tried to contact the people inside. Then the officer fired, hitting 30-year-old Emmanuel Jaquez Clark Johnson. It's still not clear what caused the officer to shoot. The district attorney will decide whether this case should go before a grand jury. And we learned today of another sentence connected to an arsonist riots in Portland. A man was just ordered to pay nearly $50,000 to the businesses he damaged. Daryl Kimberlin pled guilty to riot and criminal mischief charges. He'll also be on probation for a year and a half. He was one of the people arrested for breaking windows and spray painting the Democratic Party of Oregon headquarters in January of 2020, then vandalizing several businesses, including a Chipotle and Umpqua Bank in February of 2021. New tonight, the CEO of Salt and Straw is sending a message to local leaders. Make Portland safer or say goodbye to Salt and Straw's headquarters. The company is talking about moving their operation out of state, citing crime and safety threats that just keep getting worse. Catherine Cook has our story.
When Salt and Straw opened 11 years ago, the long lines quickly followed. Now there are 30 shops nationwide, from Disneyland to Miami. All the while, Salt and Straw's headquarters have remained in Portland's Central East Side, the heart of the company's operation, but perhaps not for long.
Since seeing it get worse and worse, I don't know what option I have. I can't stay there. I can't do it.
Co-founder and CEO Kim Malik says for years she's been asking and waiting for city leaders to address the crime and trash around Salt and Straw's headquarters. Now she's done waiting and considering moving the operation out of state. Her concerns came to a head on Monday. Early that morning, an RV exploded outside their building on Southeast 2nd and Ash. No employees were hurt, but Malik says they were traumatized, and the explosion took out their power.
This is coming on the heels of about a week ago Friday. One of our employees was held up at gunpoint with a gun in his face as he walked into work. I just literally drove to City Hall in tears, begging for help on Monday afternoon.
Malik says that day she met with city staff, including Adam Lyons, who is Commissioner Mingus Mapp's head of communication.
I got really excited about the path forward that he was laying out.
Lyons confirmed that meeting, telling KGW they're committed to keeping Portland businesses in Portland and will meet with other local and state leaders to discuss how. On Tuesday, Portland musician Thomas Lauderdale sent this email, co-signed by Malik, to state and local leaders. It further urged action to address a crisis he calls less of a homeless issue, but rather a health, public safety, and drug issue.
We've had to walk down the middle of a busy street to get to work because our sidewalks surrounding our building are blocked by abandoned cars, trash, needles, tents, and fences.
Earlier this month, City Council heard from Jason Bolt, CEO of Revant Optics. They make and sell millions of lenses from their headquarters right next to Salt and Straw's.
But we may not be here much longer. We're faced with major safety issues that are not proactively addressed or addressed at all. It's affecting our ability to operate as a business and, more importantly, the safety of my employees.
To have all of this come to a head, the week before Thanksgiving is sort of surreal.
Malik says she doesn't want to relocate, but she can't ask her employees to work in a dangerous environment. To keep them here, she says there must finally be action.
I need to have a conversation within the next couple of weeks that outlines a plan for getting us there. I'm going to try everything I can to fight to stay here, but it has to happen quickly, really quickly.
That urgency will carry over to next Tuesday. That's when the Central East Side Industrial Council plans to hold a meeting. They're inviting city, county, and state leaders in addition to police. Also, more than 50 business owners from that neighborhood will be there. They all have very similar grievances. We plan to be there too, and we'll let you know how it goes. Brittany.
All right, Catherine, thank you. Today was one of the busiest travel days of the holiday week. We saw heavy traffic on many of the major highways and a lot of people flying into Portland's airport.
We are seeing the travel volume this year almost back where it was before the pandemic. So this year we will see the third highest travel volume for Thanksgiving on record, only behind 2005 and 2019.
And that's despite the still painfully high gas prices. But prices are falling again. The average in Oregon is down 20 cents from last week and sits now at $4.56. The average in Washington is $4.60.